let's pause amongst ourselves for a second and let's appreciate something that could be happening. 3-second moment of silence. Hand over the heart. All right, now, what are we memorializing? Well, as you know, everyone's terrified of the NFL. And the only thing worse to me than college football trying to turn into the NFL is everyone in college football tiptoeing around the NFL, being terrified of them. I've always been of the opinion that college football should operate and run its race. And if you aggravate the NFL every now and then, oh well. Let me explain something. Okay, if the alien that we consult with every now and then arrives here on Earth and checks in with us like how's it going? I explain to the alien, let me explain to you, alien. We got the NFL over here. It's a mega power. No form of entertainment has ever risen to the collective heights that the NFL is right now in the history of this world. I don't know about the other planets. You'd know better than I do on that front. Ha, 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 he laughed. And so I continue and I say, now imagine a world where you get to exist and everyone bends the knee to you and your workforce is already well known because there's this thing called college football that develops them for you. And they basically serve as a giant marketing mechanism where before the players ever arrive in your draft, they play in front of 80 or 90,000 people on Saturdays. They play on national television. You don't have to pay a dime for it, actually. And so all of your marketing and development is done prior to the players coming to you, and that you just get to reap all the benefits. And you don't even have to do anything. You don't have to subsidize it. You don't have to support it. In fact, you can act like total jerks and act like it doesn't even exist and act like college football should thank the Lord every night. They just get to breathe the same air as you. What would you think about that, alien? The alien would probably say that's pretty messed up. That would never fly on Jupiter or Mars or Venus, but somehow, some way, it still flies on Earth. Saturday, December 21st. Some of that may be about to change. So I know you haven't looked that far ahead in your schedule, but don't worry, I have. And it just so happens that we'll have college football playoff games that day, 3 of them actually, on the same day that the NFL has Texans at Chiefs at 1 o'clock Eastern Time and Steelers at Ravens at 4:30. And why is this such a big deal? Well, it's because college football has bent over backwards to avoid going head-to-head with NFL games. Because God forbid we ever watch Ole Miss play Arizona State at the same time Ravens and Steelers are playing. What could happen? The world would end, right? What would happen? Well, we'd all just melt down and everything would be thrown into oblivion. Actually, what would happen is exactly what will happen December 21st. Some people are going to watch the NFL. Some people are going to watch a college football playoff game. I know which one I'm watching. I think if you're watching me right now, you probably fall in the same camp as me. But if you don't, that's fine. The point is, if it doesn't impact your wallet, why would it impact your mood? Great Meemaw quote there. There's this cabal, it's the only word I can use. There's this cabal of executive, there's the three Pete's, there's a group of people who run college football. I don't want to use the wardrobe metaphors too much tonight. I already used them once. There's a group of suits, high-level mustache types that run college football, and they've been terrified of running directly opposed to the NFL because they're worried that the ratings that they, get for those games in the playoff, they won't be big enough and it'll look bad, and they don't want to make the NFL mad for whatever reason. And therefore, they've structured the entire college football postseason to work around the NFL. The NBA tried this. And then the NFL said, hey, you know what we're going to do? Although we get our way on everything, we're going to have NFL games on Christmas. Bye. And the NBA looked and said, oh, but I thought if we worked to your appeasement that you would favor us in the end. Nope, don't care about you. Actually, we never even knew you existed. And the NFL treats college football the same way. So finally, whether it was for lack of option or because someone somewhere found a set in the room, college football finally said, you know what, we're actually going to look at the NFL schedule, we're going to see that there are games that day, and we're going to play our playoff games anyway. I have a wild theory on this. And the wild theory is the ratings for those first 2 games, those first 2 college football playoff games, those days won't break any records. But I'll tell you what they will do. They'll take a bite out of those 2 NFL games. Those 2 NFL games will do big numbers. They will be by 10 miles, the most watched broadcasts those days. But here's the thing that happens in the ad sales world. You don't go to Toyota, you don't go to Academy, you don't go to FanDuel, you don't go to these companies and say, hey, a lot of folks will watch our show. They want to know more than that. They want to know about what they can expect, and they want to sell against a certain number. And so if you go to them and say 20 million people or thereabouts are going to watch this game, they say, that's great. Here's how much money we'll give you. But then when you come back and you only had 15.9 or 16.6 Academy or FanDuel or maybe even a random gas station company out there says, where was the rest of the audience? Well, they were actually over watching Penn State, Virginia Tech, sir. I'm sorry. It won't ever happen again. Well, yeah, it will. Because what actually happens with the NFL is it's everyone's backup option. The NFL is what it is because it's an insanely entertaining product. And the games matter a whole lot, and the brands are world known. And a lot of people who are going to watch Chiefs Texans because it's their priority A. But there is this huge collection of people who would also watch Chiefs Texans because nothing else that's good enough is on, and so there is no backup option. But that group, there's a lot of them in that group who, if you put a college football playoff game on, would say, oh, I'd much rather watch a college football playoff game than this. Not the folks who were always going to watch Chiefs Texans. I'm talking about the group out there that makes the NFL numbers what they are every week, that just don't have any other option because every other thing on TV pretty much sucks right now. And so they go and they're watching it just to watch it. The watch it just to watch it crowd has a large portion that'll end up on the college football game, enough to where you won't outdraw the NFL. No one here is ever suggesting that. But I know this world. I know the world I live in. It's not whether someone outdrew you. It's what did you deliver to your partners relative to what you told them you would deliver. And if you don't deliver, if you're just delivering 70 or 80% of what they were promised, they don't like that. And I have a theory that if college football does oppose the NFL for a couple of cycles here in the playoffs, it may be the NFL that wants to work around that. It may be the NFL that says, you know what, we don't like this so much. Hello, college football. It's nice to meet you. Have you been here the whole time? It's nice to meet you. Let's negotiate. I had Klatt on the show a few months ago, and he said what I think is probably the best approach, and that is for NFL and college football to work together and have your afternoon games that then lead into college football playoff primetime games. In a normal world, that's how it should work. The NFL should appreciate college football for what they provide the NFL on a multitude of fronts. They don't, but they should. I'm just asking you guys, and most of you don't, but I'm asking those of you who are prone to this, please don't fall into the casual trap of starting to talk about TV ratings. It doesn't affect you. It does not matter. It does not impact your wallet one bit. 50 million people could watch the college football playoff first-round games, and it wouldn't matter to you. A lot of people would get rich off of it. You are not one of those people. So I guess we could figure out a way for us to become. Even then, I still don't care about it. So if I don't care about it, you really shouldn't care about it. The point is, college football will just stand its ground for once in its life. You might find out that you didn't have as much to be scared of as you thought you had to be scared of. That's all I'm saying. Good for whoever in the room made this call, by the way.